Two Broke Betters, presented by Garrett Hollenbach and Dallas Walker.
Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 9 of Two Broke Betters. This episode is just gonna be one broke better. Dallas had some other things to take care of today, so let's jump right into it. Saturday slate, college basketball. We do have some conference tournaments that have already started, and we've got some regular seasons that are still finishing up, and they're on their last game. So we've got a great slate of Saturday basketball. Starting out, top 25 matchup in the SEC. This is a big one. Arkansas at Tennessee. I think this one's pretty easy. It seems pretty easy. Tennessee hides in their fortress of Thompson Bowling Arena. They're undefeated there, and they are definitely not the same team away from home. They've gotten blown out by Kentucky and Arkansas, both on the road. But this one's going to be at home, where their smallest margin of victory in SEC play is 5 points. They beat Kentucky by double digits at home. They beat Auburn by 5 at home. They destroyed LSU at home. So that's why I'm going to go with Tennessee minus 6.5 in this one. It just seems simple. They dominate at home. All of the top 4 SEC teams dominate at home this year. But this one, Tennessee minus 6.5. Moving on to the next game, another SEC matchup. Personally, I hate betting on this one. It's Bama and LSU. Alabama has been all over the place this year. That's why I hate betting on them. Me and Dallas have spoke about this many times. They could come in and score 200 points. They could come in and beat the number 1 team in the country. They could come in and lose to Georgia or Missouri. It's pretty embarrassing. This one's Bama at LSU. They already played once this season. Bama won by 3 points at home, and LSU, I know, had quite a few injuries in this one, but I'm not going to be really looking at that. I'm going to go with the under 152.5. LSU's defensive efficiency is insane whenever they're playing at home. It skyrockets way past number 1. They're leaps and bounds ahead of number 1 whenever they're playing at home. Here are a list of their scores when they're playing at home. Their totals: 125, 138, 123, 134, 148, 134, 149, and 130. And they've played against much better offenses at home than Alabama's. So I'm going to go with under 152.5 in that matchup. Moving on to the next one. This is one, it was a blowout the first time. Don't really think it's going to be a blowout this time. My Kentucky Wildcats traveling to Gainesville to play at Florida. I don't know how this one's going to go. Kentucky dominated the first one, but it's always tough to play at Florida. I know Kentucky's 38-0 team went down there and played a close one with them. National championship team went down there, played a close one. They always struggle to win there, but it's always a really close game. I am going to go with under 141 in this one. Florida, I think, really has to keep it close, has to keep it low scoring so that they can keep it close. Kentucky's been struggling on defense the last few games, but what I will say is I think they've really made it a point of focus to ramp up their defense in practice from what it sounds like the last few days. And then on top of that, Kentucky's offense is not the same explosive, get out and run, get out and push offense on the road. Teams, for some reason, really, really love to keep it slow, to limit their turnovers whenever Kentucky comes into their building. So I'm going to go under 141 in this matchup. Moving on to the next game, another ranked matchup, Texas at Kansas. Just another one. Texas just is terrible on the road. 3-5 against the spread since the start of Big 10 play or Big 12 play. Kansas, I think they really just want to forget these TCU games. TCU should have won at Kansas. They lucked out and got the refs on their side there at the end, and they lost at TCU. So I'm going to go with Kansas -6. I just really think Texas is not a good team on the road, and I think Kansas is an insane home team. So Kansas -6. Going on to the big rivalry. You're going to hear about it all day if you're watching on ESPN. UNC at Duke. I can't bet on Duke. I know you want to put your personal feelings aside whenever you're betting, but I'm going to go UNC plus 11.5. I know it was a blowout at UNC in the first matchup. I just can't do it. Can't bet on Duke. UNC plus 11.5 is my pick there. This is a game, this next one, that I am extremely excited about. Morehead State, Murray State, battle of the two Kentucky teams for the Ohio Valley Conference Championship. I think if Murray State wins, they're obviously in the tournament, but even if they lose, they're still in the tournament. And that would be awesome to see Morehead State in there as well. But I think Murray State's going to win this one. I think they're going to cover the 7-point spread. I'm going to go Murray State -7 here. They're perfect 4-0 against the spread when playing the other two top teams in the OVC this year, Belmont and Morehead State. So they've already covered against them twice. And I think even though it is on a neutral floor in Evansville, I think Murray State's fans are going to travel a lot better from what I've seen in the past OVC tournaments. So I think it's going to basically be a home game for them for the OVC crown. I'm going to go Murray State -7, but I'm definitely looking forward to that game tonight. Last ranked matchup, USC, UCLA. I think me and Dallas can both agree on this one, even though he's not here. We both said, just like Alabama, we hate betting on Pac-12 basketball. A team can score 50 one day and score 130 the next day. So, and UCLA or Arizona or USC, any of the top teams can go lose at Oregon State, at Colorado. It's just all over the place. I'm going to go with under 136 in this matchup. I don't expect Johnny Juzang to play. And after, let's see, I know they played 2 games since without Johnny Juzang, but that was against Washington and Oregon State, which I think are a little bit different than Oregon, who seems to play up to their competition. And without Juzang in that Oregon matchup, their offense looked awful. So I think USC and Oregon are pretty comparable. They're both very lengthy and athletic. So I think that's going to hurt UCLA in this matchup, and I think it's going to keep it really low scoring. I'm going to go under 136. Those were all our ranked matchups that I was planning to discuss today. Only unranked matchup that I really liked was MTSU plus 1.5. They have been the best team in the country this year against the spread, and they just lost their last game. They didn't cover against Charlotte. They're not going to do it twice in a row. MTSU plus 1.5. Going with my favorites, I actually liked almost all of these picks other than the UNC Duke one, since I really didn't do any stats or anything on it. Tennessee -6.5. Alabama LSU under 152.5. Kentucky Florida under 141. Kansas -6. Murray State -7. USC, I didn't do that one, sorry. And then MTSU plus 1.5. So to run through those again, Tennessee -6.5. Alabama LSU under 152.5. Kentucky Florida under 141. Kansas -6. Murray State -7. And then MTSU plus 1.5. And that's the full Saturday slate of college basketball. We are almost there. We're almost to the big March Madness tournament that I think is going to be awesome this year. I'm looking forward to it. Hope everybody has a great weekend. And remember to gamble responsibly and follow us on social media at 2 Broke Betters.